Good evening, all, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast Downstairs. We are just three weirdos locked in a basement who absolutely love horror movies. We got a lot to say on that, but before we do, we're going to go around the table and introduce ourselves. You may notice that a tone in my voice has changed. There is a lot less comedy in what I'm doing because what I'm trying to tell you is something that's very near and dear and special to my heart. It's something that I need to, just focus in on, and I feel like it deserves a little bit more respect from me, specifically.
Some reverence. Some solemnity.
So, with that, all I will say is soon you'll all be like me. And I'm Glenn.
Subtle and sweet. I'm gonna go obscure and creepy. In this cabin in the woods, it just won't let us leave. You would think to yourself, what the fuck was that? But join us. For a good old reliable Jake, I'm not a killer. So, I may be a bit part demon, but we're gonna do the Necronomicon. Hail to the king. I'm Claudio.
It's very good.
I got nothing. But I can do a pretty decent gremlin, but I'm not going to make you guys listen to my Deadite impression. Hi, I'm Joe.
So, I'll start us off by saying Natrum Demontum, an ancient Kandarian text found in a fruit cellar, a book, an incantation that I believe set horror on the tracks that it's been on ever since. From the twisted mind of Sam Raimi, an absolute favorite of mine, a goofy shtick-filled intro be damned, love this franchise. The Evil Dead is what we're going to be talking about. Join us, Deadites rejoice. God, I'm so excited to get into this. Evil Dead, as you guys know, is definitely, that is my favorite. That is my
peak.
Yeah. It's peak horror for me. It hits, and I'm talking the whole breadth of it, all the franchise, because it brings so much to the table. It's something I hold very near and dear to my heart.
Feels in a lot of ways like it's all been leading to this, because it really does cover, as you said, the width and breadth of and the depth and just all the dimensions, honestly, of the horror canon. And it, this is a franchise that had its super duper indie roots and up, kind of leveled up in a way, and then also pivoted into a new potential franchise, and then mutated again in a different medium, and then has had now new generations of sequels coming down the pipeline. So it's just really done a lot since its inception. 40 plus
40 plus, yeah,
2 years,
42 wow.
And it's so cool how something can endure, adapt, and evolve with the times without it being too much of a or I wouldn't even say it's a cash grab.
No.
It feels
it
like
really
it is
never felt like it was about the money.
And yet, not just, so obviously, yeah, this is not a movie that's ever had huge box office numbers. Although I don't know about some of the new sequels from the one from 2024.
Those are numbers I do not know.
I
don't know numbers.
I know numbers, but I'd say respectively, it's done very well.
Oh, I was gonna say, just I gotta stop saying I was gonna say. I realize this is a repeat phrase. I need to
the whole. That's what the
you guys gotta
podcast
shock me or
is.
pitch me, yeah, right?
No.
I was going to say
we're trapped in here. We have to say the same thing.
It's the subtitle of every. No,
yeah.
But, despite not being a box office smash hit at any real point, and really I don't know about Army of Darkness either. What kind of release that had. It was obviously again kind of a step up once more, but whatever studios were involved. But if not critically, like it's been a hit with fans, whether you qualify it in like a small way that grew and through necessity of like getting spread and growing with every new edition, or if even critically, like folks I think immediately recognize that like, okay, well this is zany or this is wild or this is whatever, but it's pitching at 1,000 miles an hour. Like it is like thinking outside of everything you've ever not to overhype it, but it's just like...
It's almost been just cutting edge for every single thing that it's done. Well, any little trick or something that they pulled out of their ass, because they literally just did that.
Well, because they had to
make the movie. Yeah. Which is something that comes across nowadays as like, oh, that's baseline now. Like, we were getting, like, shaky cam footage, which, like, then the steady cam footage. Like, they did that far before it was getting used and doing the POV all the time like that. You had, like... them getting into like practical effects in a way that hadn't been really touched on since like Dawn of the Dead, and that was even outside of the normal culture.
Yeah.
And it gave birth to like in my opinion, one of the greats in the way of like special effects makeup come Evil Dead 2 of Greg Nicotero. Who it's like, without Greg Nicotero, we wouldn't have had some of like the zombies that we have today.
Absolutely.
So it is insane to me how enduring this entire thing is, and every single movie it wants to one-up itself every single time. And I think that is such a refreshing, cool thing to do.
It's such a sweet baton pass, too. So it's not even like, I'm going to be better than the next one. It's like, hey, bats up.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Do you want to play with it? Like,
yeah.
Here you go.
Well,
like,
you just want to go fucking wild.
Yeah. This is my sandbox. Go ahead and have a good time with it.
Absolutely that.
And I feel like this is what Resident Evil wants to be. Where it's like, we have a well-established, like, concept. Here, different director, go play with that concept. And whereas they flopped, I personally feel like Evil Dead hasn't really missed all that much.
No. If anything, it leans into itself, and that, like, I mean, we'll go into deeper details on each movie, but, like, in general, it doesn't take itself too seriously until it does.
Yes.
And, like, it's not like a thing that you can, like, use as a defense. Like, oh, they're just not, like, no, like, the intent is there until it's not. And you know that. And I have such respect for it, and, like, it knows what it is. And it leans into what it is, which makes it great.
So real quick, I'm gonna go through the timeline of just the releases for this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies in total. Yes, there's 7 movies in total. I'm just gonna run through like the dates and stuff of which ones came out when. So in 1978, we'd start with the original short indie film Within the Woods.
Okay.
And then in 1981, it was. Within the Woods, not Into the Woods.
I was about to say, that is a very different podcast, I think.
Within the Woods was then like kind of turned into what they wanted it to be in 1981 with The Evil Dead. And then in 1987, The Evil Dead was then turned into what that was supposed to be, into The Evil Dead 2. And then in 1992, we had the camp classic Army of Darkness.
Kind of the first sequel, I feel like, in earnest.
Yeah.
And then we had our...
All directed by Sam Raimi, these 3.
Yes, there's 4, all 4 of them, yeah.
Well, 4, excuse me, the short.
With the short.
I'm sorry.
I still count the short.
As you should.
Then we had a pretty decent time off, and then we popped back in 2013.
26 years? Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little hiatus,
Just a little bit of time.
I'm sorry, 8.
It'd be
math. 21.
21. Okay, so it would be old enough to drink at this point. Evil Dead.
But ironically, in 2013, it was not supposed to drink.
Oh.
They're at the cabin for the detox. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That was a thinker.
Sorry,
that was good.
Hold to. Keep going.
And then we jump another 10 years to 2023 for Evil Dead Rise, and then it was only a short jump into the future of 2026 for Evil Dead Burn, which I know all 3 of us are very excited to get.
Yeah, we are.
So my question is, within these, where did you first jump in? Like this is like how did you meet? What was your meet cute with? I feel like meet cube is probably better. What was your meet cube with Evil Dead?
So I have a funny one because mine isn't on the timeline here.
Was it 2003?
It was in 2003. Yes, it was.
I had that written down.
I'm very glad that means you caught on to what my intro bit was. Those were all songs from the Evil Dead musical, released in 2003.
Which I so terribly want to go see, and I want to sit right the fuck
2003.
up front. I want to sit right up front
In the splash zone.
wearing a white shirt. Like,
and that was my...
I want the guar treatment.
Absolutely. I didn't watch... like the series until much later, but me being musical theater girly, you know that I'm gonna eat things up. And Evil Dead, friends were in it, friends were gonna go see it, so I was like, sure. And like, it's so cool because it's basically Act 1 is 1, Act 2 is 2, and it just kind of like blends it in really nice. And it's silly, it's slapstick, it's campy, it's ridiculous, it's wet.
Yeah.
It's a wet musical.
I imagine the technicalities of the
Sounds
things
fun.
that you have to do on stage for these gags is like,
Oh.
it is a technical
It's
show
a
to have
feat
to
to
run.
saw your
Yeah.
arm off, and then just have that
Stump.
Yeah, and just also with the splash zone, blood coming here, but also blood. I'm motioning that there was blood pointing towards the audience for the Splatterfest, but also little things up top for the splash zone up front. And just drench them. They would sell white T-shirts, so that way they would just be a nice rosy hue by the end of the
I
run.
love it.
This is where I love how, like, you know, theater and, like, film will overlap with practical effects. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
because you have to, you know, take all those practical considerations into account to make sure that, like, you know, the audience, whether, you know, live or watching eventually on a screen, is still feeling, you know, that visceral
Yes.
kind of sense.
And it's so deliciously awful to me the way that they transcribe something from like this type of movie, The Evil Dead, into the musical, because it's like, I adore the fact that it's such a practical makeup heavy movie, and they're like, no, for the stage production we gotta do it that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how
I've also
else-
just been watching a lot of Boulet Brothers. That's why I don't know why I described it
Hey, why
as
not?
deliciously horrible. Hello, Unglies.
But yeah,
Shudder, call us. We'll be
so-
the judges on the next Titans, I swear.
Yo, stop. That'd be wild.
A
But
boy can dream.
true. It's really nice to like you said, see the art create new art while still respecting their origins, because like there's so many iconic things from just the first two movies that they specifically paid attention to create on the stage, and that's really cool. And like that was my first, so like I knew the story of Evil Dead from the musical, and then later on went back and like retraced my steps in a non-linear order.
I wonder if it's just from like being like a comic book fan since like before I could walk, or like whatever the case, being surrounded by like Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, eventually X-Men, Power Rangers, etc. But like I've always loved and gotten a big kick out of like adaptations, or like the different ways in which you will kind of tell the same story or use the same characters or the same setting or whatever, but like in a different medium. Or so you have like everything, like all the IP I just like ran through real quick is like now over the last 40 years, like same with Evil Dead, kind of like evolved into these sort of mini industries unto themselves. But I feel like, no matter like where you discovered, you were like immediately drawn in the same way, either like loved it or hated it or like needed to know more. Like, so
It's a train wreck. It's like you cannot look away, because it's like whether you love it or hate it, it's like, wow,
coming
there's
at
a
you.
lot that's happening right now.
Yeah. And if I had a nickel for every time we've mentioned an IP that lived in Dead by Daylight, I'd have so many nickels, because Ash is a playable character because of being such a horror icon.
Yep.
He's in the game too. So it's really cool.
Voiced
that,
by
like,
Bruce Campbell. I have that written down. So many comics, and then I wrote a whole slew, so many video games as well.
I mean, even the Evil Dead video game itself.
Yeah.
The title video game. So, like, it's really cool that, again, transcends
Have you
different
played
media.
that? It's
It
so
goes
good.
into, like, video games now, comic book. It's like I said, it just exists eternally.
so you
Yeah.
said like once you did you just see the musical? Were you performing it? Were you in it?
No, I watched it.
And
I
then
had
you-
friends that were in the show, so me
then
and
you-
our friends went to see it, and that was my first time actually, like, absorbing the story of Evil Dead.
I
And then
so
you
badly
jumped
want
into
to
the
do
rest of
that.
the franchise, or
Yeah.
okay.
From there, I non-linearly went through,
Oh,
like,
that's what I was
Which
gonna
one
say,
was
like,
your
did
first?
you-
What was your first movie? Do you remember?
so
Which
I
one you
think
went
it
into
was OG,
first? Okay.
and then Rise Remake 2. So I went,
Yeah, you were all over the place on that one.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, but so that's what I was trying to ask was, you didn't the next week?
No, not the next day. But it was. But now knowing the knowledge, I was like, okay, this is something that I'd put in my back pocket. Well, you know how I am with movies. I don't watch them immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But
Also,
it was
2003 was still very early in your horror days too.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't watch in 2003.
Yeah.
I was old enough to drink when I saw the show. But
Well, so I absolutely should have. I mean, depending on where it was, I guess. At least maybe been made aware. I'm disappointed in myself that I have not had a recollection of this Evil Dead musical, or if I did and forgot. But I was in high school in 2003. I was 17 for the most part. I was.
It's not done often. That's the thing.
Here's the audience call.
Yeah, the closest one was what? If I was drinking age, that was 2018, we'll say 2017, 2016 maybe. But that was in Delaware.
Yeah.
That was the one time I saw it until way past 2022 was the next time I saw someone else do the show.
I was not musical theater because I do not possess those talents necessarily, but I was in a few plays in high school and did some theater work that way.
Atticus Finch.
I see it.
I would love to play a lawyer. Are you kidding me?
I saw him kill so many mockingbirds. I don't think he understood what the book was about. I don't think he understood what the book was about.
Stop looking at the bird.
The birds were on trial.
I was going to say, this is why my mother made me watch Law and Order when I was in 3rd grade onward. No.
Sorry.
She didn't make it. But no, what were we talking about before? Theater. Sure. But no, so that's what I'm saying. So I was not only the right age, but I was at least on the peripheral of theater community stuff. And my girlfriend at the time, her older brother, huge Evil Dead fan. He had an Army of Darkness, a big ass Army of Darkness poster in his bedroom wall.
Because that was one of the coolest posters. All of their posters actually are some of the coolest posters.
I would say far and away, Army of Darkness is extremely iconic, more recognizable than most. Not only because it just kind of slaps and is awesome, but specifically because it works so well because it borrows from very classical composition. It's very painterly looking.
Yeah, it looks like a Frazetta painting that you would see in heavy metal.
And so
because he's got the shotgun, he's got the chainsaw, he's standing very triumphantly.
Shout out to my father, the Conan the Barbarian fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's it's got that but it's also winking a nod, his his dimpled chin, and he's smiling right at you, and the adoring woman on his thigh, and just very on top of a mountain with a castle in the background, he might as well be He-Man, it's holding up the chainsaw. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? This is a very kind of classic, especially of the 80s, of I think our general kind of couple generations, whatever.
We should recreate
I know I'm
that
from
poster.
the industrial age, but.
Oh my god, what if we did a whole series of poster recreations with the three of us? That would be so fun.
That would be
classic horror movie write that down.
Shoot,
I'm writing that down.
You said classic. I was I'll be long legs.
Why are we just when new parents put their babies in calendars? Is that what we're doing to each other?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Are we gonna go to a
making sure we
Kmart
understand.
if they're still open and just do a photo
Make
shoot?
them do it for us.
We come in with all
Let's make some Sears Photographer's Day and just go real weird with it. Some random June afternoon.
It's completely not appropriate.
We are so off the rails already, but I love it. I don't even care.
I'm sorry. Okay, but I was just saying.
We're leading into.
No, my audience call out for that would be if you or anyone you love knows if they're putting on an Evil Dead musical. And it's somewhere on the East Coast, please reach out to us. We would love to come and see it. We would also love to just come and cover it too. I don't know, it works on that, but
I mean, yeah.
But so just to answer your question, I had that awareness of it, but I don't know. I think I watched pieces of Army of Darkness and I think I probably we maybe ran through, but and again, all apologies and all due respect, but I think just by virtue of this is my high school girlfriend, I don't think we were paying attention to the movies we were watching. So there was that in high school, and then college I pretty much dismissed it. No one was ever rewatching it very often around me. That's on me. And then
it's on your friends for sucking.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. No, but no, I no offense, Nick, and Chris and all these folks that I'm still in touch with. But no.
Get right.
You suck. No, I was kidding.
Fuck you. No. What are you gonna do about it? No. I'm just running through all the things, like, calling out their frat. No, stop.
No.
Why? But so I did have at least that cursory, experience with it, like an awareness, but like had not like sat with it. I always kind of like took it for granted. And then when 2013 rolled around, I think one of the actors, Taylor Pucci, Blue Taylor, the blonde with the long hair. Thank you. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he may or may not be like from the greater area that I also was sort of growing up in. I'm not trying to be specific with locations. Well, like he got written up in like local papers. My dad's, bless his heart, like cut out a clip of it, and like so I very specifically remember that. So like I had that awareness in 2013 one, and then I don't think I saw it in the theater, but like it was probably on HBO or something not too long after, and I don't know, I caught it at some point, and like to this day I still haven't finished that one. I was telling these guys like not just before we started recording that like it's probably been like a good 3 or 4 times that I've tried watching the 2013 Evil Dead, and I think every time we get to the Thorns I bailed, and just whatever, it just wasn't in the mood, or that's fine.
That is actually reasonable.
Even if it wasn't, like, whatever. But and I was actually just reading something today that was saying how it was a Ringer piece for the Ringer.com, and they were I forget who wrote it, but they were saying how the 2013 remake is pretty much like a how-to on how to do remakes right, and like what a good remake it was. And so I was so kind of interested to hear you say like I kind of feel like it really like was still taking on too much of the 2000s remake, the worst aspects of that. And it's so funny that when you were, kind of introing earlier, we were sort of discussing like its wide influence and, how many different facets of horror it's kind of touched in one way or another. And it was just funny hearing that compared to like, I think it went a little too dark versus this article saying that like it's a awesome remake. I didn't know. I was very curious to know like your take, because I know we all enjoyed the the 23 Rise, which is my favorite.
I keep wanting to say Burn too. It's like
I love the thing they're doing with the verbs, and I love the fact that like they've kind of retconned 13 as like the first of the new trilogy. Like we're meant to understand that there were like multiple,
there's several books.
Yeah. So and like that's just very exciting, and like in the same way that I was saying earlier that like I just love adaptations. I love seeing different artists, different directors kind of pick up the ball and run with it, and they're doing that with these the newer movies since Sam Raimi kind of moved on, or whatever you want to say. But it was cool or interesting rather too when you compared it to Resident Evil, because they were I think all W.S. Anderson, right? But now
first couple
were they? I thought they were all. Like I thought all 7 of them.
There was like the TV shows and whatnot, and now we got Zach Krager working on one.
But they were all like CG weird Sony products, right? Okay. Yeah. I was a little confused because I was like, they other than the new ones which are more recent, this is very much Sam Raimi's thing, and then other than little bits here and there, that was very much W.S. Anderson's thing. But I think your point stands in that like Resident Evil probably could stand to be a little bit more like Evil Dead. In fact, any zombie, well, maybe not any, but certainly a fun, pulpy thing like
raises the question, or is it dead-eyed zombies? But
so it
there's
is
a whole subreddit.
Oh no, I want to have that debate. Like we might not have time. I understand we can't be in the basement all night, but
follow us on our Patreon to hear that tea.
But I love that debate of like, no, they're demons, no, they're zombies, no, they're reanimated corpses, no, sometimes, but like that's like very fun. Like, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, it's just very exciting. So yeah, I didn't so I had an awareness of it when I was young. I like missed it forever, in part a little bit because it just wasn't around me, but also because of that the 2013 in particular is gruesome. It is rough, and like I tried and couldn't. I was like, so I put it in the same camp as like the Texas Chainsaw remakes and the not the Halloween 07, but what else have we been talking about? Black Christmas.
Yeah.
And, like some of the other slashes we haven't gotten to,
but like they fit in the same realm of
which is just funny because
and the remake coming out kind of sat relatively near that whole heap of 2000s remakes of classic.
Absolutely.
Where it's like this does kind of fit into the whole slashix thing that we're doing in a way.
Oh, 2 for 1 special.
Yeah.
But it's funny that we kind of acknowledge like the gruesomeness of the 2013, because we were saying sort of with our first slashic episode how Evil Dead kind of of skirted it because it's just like so solid and everyone loves it, and like retrospectively, it's like top tier, top shelf stuff. So just very, ironic and interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will be talking about that.
I forgot
So yeah, what about
So
you?
I'll keep my hair flip. I'll keep my hair flip moment very short. So I remember.
Time's in.
Much like the new trilogy, I'll keep it very quick and to the point. No, I was kidding.
Oh my god.
I remember I was already into horror movies by this point. Like, I'm no longer scared of horror movies at all. And I remember going with my older sister to a tattoo shop because she needed to go pick up jewelry of some kind. And I remember going in, and it's like you're just hit in the face with all like classic tattoo shop like wall art, where it's like, there's like boobs over there, and then there's tattoos over there, and then there's this, that, and a motorcycle over there. But I remember very specifically they had two things in this shop that absolutely blew my mind. They had an 8-foot tall predator just standing up against the wall in the corner. That was fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
But then they also had a very large, like, movie theater size poster for just the Evil Dead. It was the one with, like, the lady with her hand reaching up and the hand popped out of the ground, grabbing her. And it's like, I remember seeing that and I was like, what the fuck is that about? Because, like, by that point, I had already been into the Romero zombies and everything. Like, zombies very quickly became, like, my favorite thing for a while. As is said multiple times on here with, like, Shaun of the Dead and things like that.
And from that poster, it just appears like, okay, zombie.
Yeah. So it's
just
like...
arms, nothing crazy.
I immediately went home and I definitely didn't pirate anything off the internet. I rented it through normal means. And I watched The Evil Dead, the very first one, and I was like, is this my new personality? And then I was like, oh, there's a second one. And I immediately watched the second one. And I like downloaded that and watched it. And I was like, this better not awaken anything in me.
How much, so did you not have any like awareness of it before the first time you watched it?
No. Because this would have been, I would have probably been about 13 or 14 at this time, something like that. Maybe 15. So it's like,
because like you're saying, it's
the
so
remake
popular.
hadn't been, the remake wasn't out yet for me. So it was like,
Gotcha.
this was I've seen the poster. And then it's like, I remember seeing like the cover for Evil Dead 2 with like the skull with the eyes.
Yeah.
That was like a Blockbuster trip one where it's like, you saw that cover of the VHS and it's like, it was kind of burned into my head.
1000%.
So it was like, I'd seen that and been like, oh, I have to like really kind of find out what's going on here. And I tracked it down and I got it. And then I watched the second one almost immediately after that. And the second one very quickly became a favorite of mine just because it was like, wow.
So for folks that might not know, like we kind of like alluded to, the sort of evolution of each movie, but like well and truly, the first movie, Evil Dead, 81 or whatever, right? Okay, like, so then 87 for
Yep.
Evil Dead
87,
2?
yep.
The
Killing
second
it.
one is the
He has no
remake.
notes, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be
From
okay.
the hip.
It's gonna be straight from the hip. But like the first, I don't know the time maybe, but like I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. It's kind of just a remake of the first one, but then it isn't, and that's what's like really amazing about it. But then third one gets away from like it's like 1, 2, 3 nomenclature,
Yeah.
which I think is super interesting.
Where 2 kind of jumps, 2 ends and you get dropped into the beginning of 3.
Well, I mean, the balls to do that kind of cliffhanger in a not TV, like, I mean, that's just so cool.
And
Number
then
one.
waiting like
6
years to just be like, hey, remember that idea that we had when
And
all
I
those
mean,
horses were riding up on Bruce?
That's the time it took to raise and make, raise the money and make the thing. Of
Which
course.
like that was
It
the
wasn't just
budget
sitting
movie.
around,
Yeah, it was
but-
the big budget one of those 3.
But no, it's just like so crazy to then pivot and pick up on the cliffhanger you left on, which was jumping from contemporary cabin in the woods to what, 14th century or whatever it is, medieval castle in the middle of like a battlefield, with Ash and his chainsaw, I think, and his car and
Yep.
Yup.
Yep.
oh, and of course his boomstick, his
Yep.
shotgun.
When I tell you,
And also, there's a desert in England.
Now, wait, did we?
Never understood that one.
Yeah, that was well. Locations are
Fantasy realm. It's fine.
And then
suspension
wait, did we not
disbelief.
mention the TV show?
Ash
We
vs. Evil
didn't.
Dead.
We didn't get into that.
So I not to like I can't even get into it. I've never seen it, but I will because now I
It-
know Samara Weaving was in it. But
So it stays very heavily in the realm of Army of Darkness. It is very camp.
well, and it's Bruce Campbell.
It's very aware that it's camp.
Went like what 4 seasons? I want to say.
Yeah.
They put the camp in Bruce Campbell.
Late teens, late 2010s, so
Yeah.
like post 2013. but
Topless
pre-
Lucy Lawless.
It was 2015
Oh
to
right,
2018.
Lucy Wallace was in it for a while. I remember that, like, because that's the thing. Like, I followed it. It was an AV Club thing. Like, you know, they covered it. Like, I was very much like following that, and that looked really cool. I didn't have stars.
No,
so
very
I wasn't
fun.
watching it at the
Very
time.
fun. I had a great time watching it. I was watching
to
it
get to
as
it,
it
though.
came out. Like I think they had like seasons 1 and 2 came out on like Netflix at some point, and that's when I caught it.
Oh yeah. That's
And
what I
then
should,
it was like 3 and 4 came out, and I eventually got around to watching those. But it was a lot of fun.
I was just curious because, like, as you said, like, you kind of had a first awareness of it in like a tattoo shop, and then like you know seeing the poster in like a video store or whatever, and like, you know, I know obviously, of course, this is popular within like the punk and like you know metal community or whatever with music. So like, I was just so curious, like. I feel like it's such a rarity when someone can get into a thing and be exposed to it and like swim in it and love it without having those like preconceived expectations or
For sure. It's
whatever,
cool that you
or you're
got it
trying
from
to
a
like
poster.
it.
Yeah. Well, it's like it kind of bounces back. Me and my buddy DJ have like for years we've done this thing where you'll see like live pictures of bands performing, and it's like almost always, I don't know who made this the rule, but like if you're in like a heavy metal band or a punk band or something like that, you're almost always somebody's gonna be on stage wearing another band shirt.
Oh, well,
You know?
So
It's
when
just the
I was
rule.
growing up, it was gauche to wear the band of the like band you were in or the show you were seeing.
Yeah.
Now it's very much like honest and earnest and like cool again. I think.
Well, like we used to
Yeah.
play this game of like going through like pictures or stuff, where it's like you would see a live performance of like one of your favorite bands, and it's like there'd be the vocalist with like wearing a T-shirt that's like, what fucking band is that?
Well, and that's you know,
And then you
spread the
go and
love,
look
yeah.
that up, and then you become a fit, because then it's like you're getting the influences of the influences.
Yeah.
Which I love.
And it's like that's a really cool thing. So I kind of feel like that's in the same thing where it's like I really don't have a preconceived notion. All I know is that I like the stuff that's around it, so I'm gonna get into it.
By association, I
Yes.
will dive into it too.
Yeah, so it's like seeing the poster in like the horror section at the Blockbuster, but also seeing the poster at a tattoo shop. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out. The
just feel like-
tattooers think that that's cool.
Maybe I'm just realizing something because, well, not getting to family stuff. But like we all, well, you don't have older siblings, do you?
I have one older sibling.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, all right. So this is just like I feel like a movie where you're often like this is like your older brother or older sister being like sitting you down and like showing it to you, or maybe a parent or something.
I was that older brother.
See, and that's the thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I punished
like,
my little sister with it. Yeah,
So it's just I
she's
didn't-
all the better for it.
I didn't think, you know, I have no older siblings.
Who's
I
house
know,
down?
like, I didn't, you know, so I didn't know if, like, it was getting passed down,
Mm-hmm.
like, with expectations and instructions, you know what I mean? Like, how you can often
Gotcha.
get from, you know, older siblings or whatever, but
Yeah.
what do I know?
But it's like I feel like no matter how far away you are from this franchise, it finds its way to worm into your brain. It finds its way into like you being like, I have to check it out at least once. Whether you're gonna like it or hate it or
mean,
love it, like it finds its way there.
So much pop culture comes from it. It's
Oh my god.
bonkers. I was like going.
Oh yeah, when you were texting me about like watching Army of
of
Darkness,
Darkness.
and you were like, "Oh my god, that's where all of these jokes
so
are from."
many things that like are just like.
Oh, sorry, no, go on.
Well, I was just gonna like, you know, even like, you know, Borderlands, the game that has pop culture mania. So many references from Evil Dead exist in there.
This is my boomstick.
Okay.
Yup. And it's just really cool how that again transcends a different art to a different art, and it makes its life expectancy triple at that point.
Another reason I 100% should have, and I guess I just like assumed because like I knew where it was from, and I was like, well, so I don't have to watch it or whatever. I don't know what I was thinking, but 2000, this band Coheed and Cambria, who have since like kind of blown up as like one of the like last kind of
Oh
great,
yeah, that little band, Coheed and Cambria.
big, huge like rock bands, you know that kind of like still can do like arena stuff. Like I don't know, I know there's like your you know your Mastodons and your like,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, other than like Foo Fighters, like who is like a more kind of recent big, I don't know. They were huge for me, still are. Well, not as much anymore. But like anyway, in 2000 they started to release, or maybe it was 2001, they started to release the demos of what would be their first album, Second Stage Turbine Blade. And the album is produced beautifully, but it doesn't have any of the fun little samples and clips that, you know, demos so often have in, you know, punk and hip-hop.
I'm so glad that that's coming back to be a thing. I love sound clips in music.
Because again, like you're saying with like the bands wearing the t-shirts of like, you know, other bands, like it's you know, putting clips of stuff into your stuff. Like it's how you cross-pollinate, baby.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I was listening to this one band that actually me and you saw like a little bit ago, Balmora. They have a song that has a soundbite at the beginning of it. It's Ethan Hawke's death scene from The Northman.
Oh, hell yeah.
Strike!
That's amazing. That's so cool.
I was like, I know that one!
Absolutely.
It was really good.
Well, so so throughout, I can't remember if it's one track or if they like take a couple and pepper it throughout the
Oh shit, was it Give Me Some Sugar Baby?
No, it's
Somebody else sampled that one, I forget.
It's the speech leading up to and this is my boomstick, and as soon as the crowd goes, ah, the song kicks in.
Listen, you primitive knuckleheads! Yep.
This is my boomstick!
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, but so, yeah, just that was one more reason that, like, I was like, oh shit, like, this is a big deal. This is like a multi, like, has a big influence.
Yeah, and it's like that influence just kind of kept growing because, like, as Claudia was saying, it's like it showed up in so many different iterations with, like, video games and stuff. And, like, Bruce Campbell said that he's never actually going to do Ash anymore physically.
I mean, yeah.
But it's like, if you want to put him in something and have Ash Williams be in the game or be in, like, the clip or something and CGI, he'll do the voice. He's, like, he is the voice for, like, Dead by Daylight, which is super cool. He does all of his voice lines for the Evil Dead game, which the game is actually really cool. I had fun playing that. And then, like, it also found its way into so many different comics because, like, that's when they started playing with the universe of, like, the Deadites and everything and being like, okay, well, Ash Williams is this Slayer now. And, like, how can we put him into different things? So it's, like, that's where it's, like, there was talk for a little bit after Freddy vs. Jason came out that it'd be Freddy vs. Jason versus Ash.
I remember that.
Oh,
yeah,
baby.
And that's where
that was deep, like,
that
online
was born
chatter
out of
stuff.
Yeah, and that was born out of a comic series that kind of came out, which is where the thought process of Jason as a Deadite came from.
Right. Yeah. That makes so much sense.
Yes.
I'm Baja
So
blasted
cool.
right now.
So
Holy
fucking
shit.
cool.
Because not to jump around too much, but, like, I haven't seen all the Friday the 13th, and I realized that, like, Goes to Hell, I was reading, like, really just not even, like, trying to spoil anything for myself, but, like, just the immediate, like, summary, not even summary, just premise, like, sync on IMDb is, like, Jason's killed and gets reborn. And you're just like, oh, what? He has a curse now where he becomes different people? I didn't remember that ever being a thing, so, like, if he's, in fact, a demon zombie of sorts, not just a plain old zombie, that would make a lot of sense.
That
Passes
would
that slug,
thematically check out.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh boy.
I did also recently, again, jump in a little bit, but how Mary Poppins and Pennywise the Clown from It are of the same cosmic alien species.
oh my
I've
god.
heard this before. We don't have to get into it because it's very off topic, but just again with similar,
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that.
crossover type
Yeah, we'll
stuff.
put a pin in that and
We'll
touch
talk
on
about
that when
that
we
at
get
some
to
point.
when we get to it.
Oh boy.
They're both shape-shifting,
what?
emotion-eating, magical beings that have vague origins that have to do with not being perceived by people, but choosing their own form, feeding off of children in either good or evil ways. So anyway, that's just, again, some fun cross-pollination. Freddy, or rather Jason Voorhees, and being a Deadite from Evil Dead. That's awesome.
Mary Poppins and Pennywise.
Mary Poppins and Pennywise being of the same,
Shit.
yin and yang.
You know what's terrible is I could see Stephen King being like, yeah,
Into it.
yeah. You know what? Yeah. It's like you're not responsible for
I was
Mary
doing that
Poppins.
all along.
I know. I am now.
God, you're welcome.
People would have things to say about that. But no, that's very cool. I love that theory, and I love that that's like something that could.
It is so cool, and it's like, and that's the other thing too about the way that this franchise has kind of grown over the years is that it's like it's steeped in lore. It is so thick with lore, and I am somebody. I've said it before, where it's like I don't mind homework if it's interesting enough from a film, of like, ooh, they didn't fully discuss that whole thing in here. I'm curious and want to know more, so I'll go Google stuff after watching a movie. This, you don't really necessarily have to do that, but with all of the extra stuff that you get from like all of the comic series and everything, it's just and any of the like the little like
with the novelizations of Predator and Alien.
Yes,
like
it's all supplemental, and it's like, oh, this is delicious, and I love it.
Is born of, or rather like constituted by details, and so like it just begs to have like deep lore, kind of constructed around it.
And like the other thing of like them like kind of just pressing it further and further, it's like they're not even just adding more and more lore to it, because like
that would be heavy, that would be annoying, that would be exposition,
Within the Woods,
blah.
Yeah, Within the Woods was. It's admittedly it's kind of hard to watch because it is very low quality.
For sure.
Because it was shot with like a crew of like 4 people, like Bruce being one of the crew while also acting in it.
By necessity, extremely DIY, like do it yourself, like very punk, like very just like, we don't know what we're doing, screw it, we're gonna make it happen. Like that's,
but they were like, can we like, we want to up the ante.
Spirit as well, like just that collaborative, like we got
want to
lights
do this because we like it.
We got people on a sidewalk. Like we'll do whatever
I got my dad's Super 8. Let's go film it.
And I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And it's like Evil Dead has like, it was like, we're gonna one up that. We're gonna take the original thing, because it's like we didn't really discuss what was going on. It was just something terrorizing him in the woods. Let's put a face on it. Let's figure out what it is. Let's blow up that idea. And then they did the same thing with 2, where it's like, is it more of the same? Yeah. And would that piss off a lot of people? Kind of.
Well,
but it explores all of the intro and like condenses down that first movie into like, okay, we're gonna kind of retcon it a little bit, and we're just gonna put Ash in a situation, and we're gonna blow it up out of proportion from there, because we actually have the means to do it, and we have a team this time, and we got people, and we want to do more gags. We know what we like.
Do you know the only other like big relative like franchise that I can think of, IP, that has done a similar thing in terms of like, I'm gonna remake it, other than like Lucas and Star Wars, because that's done to death. But how familiar are you all with Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Oh my god.
Yeah? You guys Ava fans?
Oh, okay. Not where I thought you were going, but I see it. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you watched, the original series, and then the TV movies, and then the new remakes, and then okay. So for anyone that hasn't, like, this was a like late '90s anime that went a couple seasons, very kind of typical, like, not unlike Cowboy Bebop, if you've heard of that, like seminal anime work, couple seasons, 26 episodes, but huge influence, kind of a big hit in like retrospective years among fandom and translations and coming to America, yada yada yada. But so it had like that sort of short life, but it was a big hit, and so like it got these TV movies like to kind of cap off the series finales, and like they were different endings than the original like series finale, and like again those alternative takes from the same creator create like, they invite comparison, right? And so they create like a lore of behind the scenes of like, well, why did they change things? And whether it's, and then so, okay, and that was like, I don't know, 98 and 99, 2000, and then whatever it was, 15-ish years, 18-ish years later, the same creator, had a new budget, had whatever, he did other things, and he came back to, his anime series, and like they did 4 movies, and the first 2 hew extremely closely to just kind of redoing the series in like a quickie version. It's not bad, looks better, it's updated, it's more polished, but like it's the same thing. And then the next 2 movies,
that's where you can you get that kind of
pivot hard, expand, boom, like jump, like
and I
break
feel
your
like
brain.
That's what you do is like you can do that short little retcon and get everything kind of worked up, because it's like, all right, no, I'm just resetting this up because what I have planned is so fucking cool.
But we gotta get there.
We'd be doing a disservice by not redoing parts of this.
And I just I think it's so cool to either like in that way or any other way, like whether it's adaptations or if it's the same folks kind of trying the same ideas, either explicitly like with Evil Dead or Ava, Neon Genesis Evangelion, or if it's just someone like Stephen King, like just kind of recycling ideas.
Run it back.
Hey, I'm a fan, but yeah, really, very much so. Sorry, he's just consistent. But You know, in either way, it's really cool because you are seeing the thought process of the creator. So it's like, you know, the author's choices. You can see the logic behind it. You're like, oh, well, if I'm comparing this choice versus that one, you can really like analyze the purpose behind it, or the intention, or the whatever. And like that's why I think I love adaptations. That's why I think I love like cover songs, because it just like helps reveal the intentions of the creators in like, I don't know, a very clear way that I find fascinating.
It's the same thing as like you can give 4 different artists like the same prompt and they're all going to make something different. This time you're putting in just a little bit more guideline to it and being like, how are you going to play with that then?
Which is why me and my wives, plural, love watching Ink Master. Hi. Which of course our actual tattoo artist may or may not have opinions on. I just like art challenges, and that's not a thing you get a lot in reality TV
That
shows.
is true, yeah.
But to your credit, just like you're saying, like, you know, it's so
There's
fun
better
to watch.
shows for it.
Oh, well, sure.
There's Face Off.
I
there's
love
Drag Race. There's
Face
Dragula.
Off, wow.
Hey, I was watching Project Runway 15 years ago, so don't even worry about it, all right? I'm down. But no, I do love just like watching, like you were saying, like 10 different artists attack the same prompt, or 10 different writers. Like, give me a 7-page short story with that prompt, and boom, go. I used to love reading.
I think it would be. I would love it, but I know it would be like the most boring television ever. Like we're gonna get like multiple authors to like do like a short story and they present it at the end.
They've done that. That was what was it on Showtime? Masters of Horror. Like, is that not
true?
what that was?
True.
That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Have done that. I love when that happens.
See, I was thinking of it like reality TV, where we're back to the workroom and they're all just sitting there, just smoking,
literally
smoking
watching
cigs
them.
and just writing. No one's talking.
Just chain smoking and drinking whiskey.
It's like they cut to like the talking head. It's like it's the 4th time that Steven's gone back to the cocaine lounge today. I'm starting to get worried about it.
hey, there are folks that say Heart of Darkness is better than Apocalypse Now, so there's an audience for everything.
Yeah.
But speaking of, I think it's super cool then to think of like, you know, the first 3 Evil Dead movies, or 4, however you want to qualify them all, as like, you know, Sam Raimi's like ever evolving, you know, project or whatever. And then you had, you know, our what, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
I think it's 20 years. Yeah,
21, whatever we said. And then it gets a new director, right?
Yeah.
And the Fede Alvarez,
Fede
right?
Alvarez.
Who's now since gone on to do Alien Romulus and Don't Breathe, I believe. You know, 2 kind of big hits, even though, you know, folks don't necessarily love Romulus. We do. So it's really cool.
What?
And then it was the Irish director that did Rise.
Yes, Lee Cronin.
Lee Cronin, who's
Look
now
at
going to
me.
do...
I wasn't even written down.
Thank you for that.
Let's
because
go.
because you know what Lee Cronin's doing next? The Mummy.
Ah,
He's going to do the next The Mummy, not another Tom Cruise one.
the Brendan
Different
Fraser
take.
one.
I don't know. I guess
I don't know.
I'm not sure because
I hope.
I feel like they keep shoving Universal monsters like in 8 different ways down our throats, and I can never tell. But anyway, I'm excited for more Lee Cronin.
Yeah.
But
And then who do we have directing Burn?
that's what I want. Yeah. Can't remember if it's like a name we know or a friend of ours.
I'm so mad
friend of ours,
because I
quote,
literally
quote.
just had it up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have it on. I'm sorry. 2 seconds.
Da-na-da.
Evil Dead Rise. Sebastian Vanashek.
Ah, yes, for Burn. Yeah.
Who has because this is who did Vermins. This was I think 2023. This was definitely like on like a bunch of lists. Infested Spider movie or something like that.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So he's doing the next Evil Dead.
I recommend he's watching Festive.
So I was gonna just say, I think it was really, really cool that it went from being like Sam Raimi's like baby personal project, what he was known for, like, you know, Bubba made his name on it, right? And now it's like, you know, passing on to other directors.
And almost in a very Adam Sandler fashion too. Where he was just working with a ton of his friends.
Oh, sure.
That's all it was. It was like,
hey, a lot of people besides Adam Sandler do that.
Yeah,
but
true.
okay. I'm so bitter about
Mike
Adam
Flanagan
Sandler.
does the same
Sam
thing.
Raimi, Happy Madison, it's the same thing.
Happy Man.
Can you imagine that was the same production company?
Yeah,
It's
my
not.
God.
But I just think it's so cool that it could be like, oh, such a personal thing, and now it's like kind of getting passed along to like different, you know, folks and creators. And I think it's interesting. I don't know how much of like retconny it is that they were like, no, 2013 was always part of a new trilogy, which I know is like not explicitly even true at all. It's more just like spiritual, like, oh, that's kind of interesting to look at it that way.
We had some similar scenes from like both movies.
But I was gonna say 2013's Evil Dead is very much, I think, considered a remake, despite like having different character names, you know, having different plot
we did still have an Ash.
So like it's kind of like at the time people were explicitly calling it a remake, which I think kind of made people not want to like embrace it as quickly, especially with the like kind of gruesomeness. I think it's grown in estimation over the years.
Oh, I remember. I went to this on opening night. I literally went to this on opening night. I was thrilled with the outcome. I remember sitting in the Taco Bell parking lot, eating my food because the store was closed at the time, or it was like the inside was closed. So we went through the drive-thru, got our food, and sat in the parking lot. And just like, I remember me and Chell were just sitting there, just like, what the fuck, man? And Chell was not happy about sitting in the dark.
I'm saying, like, I know
she was not happy about sitting in a dark car in an abandoned parking lot after that movie.
God.
I know it had its fans, and I know it had a lot of people being like, you know, fuck that or whatever. So I just know it was kind of mixed. I thought upon reception, I could be totally wrong, but I think it's now very much grown. And now that we've had Evil Dead Rise, which I gotta say, all due respect to Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, who is such a gem. Like, my God. Like, I also watched Burn Notice, you know, before I was getting deep into Evil Dead, like, whatever.
Hey, shout out Chuck Finley, man.
But Evil Dead Rise, I fell in love with that immediately. And it really surprised me because, like, I was not an Evil Dead head.
It was fucking so tasty. I loved it that they were like, we're going to take this concept and we're going to, fuck it. Throw it in an apartment building.
Well, doing the cold open...
In downtown LA, but the entire cast is New Zealanders.
Without trying to spoil too much of any details or anything,
It's
but
been
like...
2 years.
Well, the Evil Dead Rise from 2023, like... it opens, like, it does like a cold open that's only like, I don't know, less than 10 minutes. But it's like, it does sort of a classic, young, attractive folk trying to, hook up in a cabin in the woods. And
we
they
have a fucking flying intro to it, too.
Drone shots.
They love...
Which
Very
they
cool.
literally and it was so beautifully timely of them being like, look, we're doing the old fashioned thing. And then it's like cut to like, no, it's some kid flying a drone around. It's
I was
like,
about to say,
that is so current. Y'all are literally like, just, go ahead, keep going.
So for anyone that doesn't know...
The views are up.
Yep.
For anyone that isn't familiar, like, go watch Evil Dead. What are you doing here? But I know there's some listeners... so there's a very, very not only noteworthy, but like became like very much a
iconic.
Not just iconic, but like trademark to Evil Dead camera shot where they they were literally holding the camera I think on rope or something.
They nailed it to a board.
Okay, so a contraption that kept it low to the ground and like kind of carried it or whatever they did.
Yeah,
so
they just ran through the woods with it.
you have this very kind of like iconic whatever shot of like the camera, the frame is just like very kind of moving along very quickly. And it's whatever, like in 2025, it's kind of like, okay, we've seen that. But in 1981 and 87, like, it was a little bit less common and very creative.
And like, what the
it's
fuck
still
is that?
awesome.
Why does it look like it's slithering?
If we got like any sort of POV shot similar to that, it would have been like even as early as like 71 with Black Christmas.
I was just gonna say
it was a POV shot of somebody climbing in through a window, but it was also very slow because it's like you got this big fucking camera that you have to like look
Don't
around.
get me wrong, film heads and cinematography nerds are like, no, this is not news to them. But like even a 13-year-old kid like hopped up on too much soda or whatever, watching it at a sleepover, past their bedtime or whatever, can still even recognize like, holy cow, what the fuck are they doing with the camera?
This is eerie already.
If it's not making me think about how this was made, then it's making me think about how like people are made and life is made and oh my god, you know what I mean? Like you're having like an experience. So it's just very cool that in this new, the 2023 version, it kind of
did like
a nice meta moment of doing that shot, but then also like introducing it sort of diegetically as like, oh no, but it's literally the drone that one of the characters is piloting. So just a very cool way to intro the not only a new movie in the franchise, not only what ends up being a sequel as opposed to a remake, requel.
So many homages to like the originals in that whole movie.
100%, especially by the end.
Yeah.
Like once the main character, who's just the name I forget off the top of my head, like is at the end once Beth is at the end with her niece, with weapons in hand on top of the truck, like you're getting the Ash vibes, and it's so awesome in my opinion. But like they kind of slow played it throughout, and they really, unlike the Evil Dead 13 version with like, young people in the woods. Different takes, more, rich narrative with the whole, addiction relapse thing, I think is like really cool. Hit a little too close to home for me, when I was younger. I think that's another reason why I couldn't really finish it. But like they went totally different. Like you said, they were like, okay, cabin in the woods, you've been there, done that. Boom, apartment building. Like I think that's so cool.
Also,
it didn't really work for Predator 2, but it worked for Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead Rise had one of the best fucking stingers in the last 10 years. I'm just saying, like for title cards, that scene when she rises up over the lake and just
wait, she does what?
Huh?
She
Not
does
at the
what?
end of the movie. At the end of the
Rises
intro.
up out of the lake.
Right.
She rises?
Oh.
But yeah, the shot
just
of the
got
woman coming out of the water.
No, it was like that title card
It
was
set a
so
tone.
good.
A good title card will absolutely like, and I said like I fell in love, and it helps that like both leads are like holy cow gorgeous. But like no, I absolutely was like, oh, I'm an Evil Dead fan now. Like this is
even Undead Mommy, yeah.
Oh my god.
Who wants eggs?
She was the worst tattoo artist in the world too. That did piss me off a little bit, but
She doesn't even know how to grate her cheese.
no.
Now we're all suffering. We're all suffering.
That is okay. Yeah, that Evil Dead Rise actually I think was the
Teeth stuff and skin stuff. I don't.
That was the
there's a
origin
cheese grater.
of us coming up with the wet
Scene.
movie thing. I think because like we got done that movie and we were so like I don't know how to describe this to somebody without giving stuff away. So that's where the whole wet movie thing came from.
So that detail of the kitchen scene, like that was the hardest for me to watch.
Oh no, swallowing the glass was the worst for me.
And seeing it just.
I can say that better. I don't know why, but I was gonna say I'm not a fan. I'm not a good like gore fan. Like I can be in like a samurai
I feel like
movies.
that could also be one
you
of the
know-
reasons you didn't like 13 as well. It's
That's
like
what-
13 was a lot of slow gore.
It's very gruesome. It feels, kind of torture porn. But I don't think Rise does, despite having some very gruesome, sequences. Or maybe it is, and it's just a testament to how good the character work is, or the writing, or whatever. The camera is all just hitting so good.
The
I
amount
just
of
love that movie.
times I've suffered with like bodily damage on a screen next to y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say it's far too high, but I think we can
Not
go
enough.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
not enough.
Like,
but I'm glad it's happened so many
I think
times.
as far
with
as like
us together.
2013 goes, for as many awful things that happened in that movie,
Blech.
between a nail gun, a razor blade, a hypodermic needle,
that needle.
genuinely the worst of it was when she had the Jeep trap, like she was trapped under the Jeep and pulled.
I'm sorry I'm yelling, but
Yeah, she pulls her own arm off.
Sorry to pivot and ruin it. It's a different The Mummy. It's a different The Mummy.
Oh,
Oh.
It's not even.
We're
it's
getting
not
two mummies?
We're getting more mummies. Hey, it's fine. We're also getting another Frankenstein.
Hey, be
with the bride.
progressive.
oh no, I
We're getting more.
oh wow.
On Pride Month.
Oh,
Jeez.
so true, Bessie.
We're actually getting multiple brides of Frankenstein movies.
The Bride.
And also brides, plural.
Oh. Man, horror's great, man.
So yeah, bring it on. All of them. I don't care. Give
If
me
you're
all the
watching the
adaptations.
video, if you're not watching, I'm still clustering myself from everything that happened in 2013.
Yeah. Like that was, and it was like I said, that was a very like, I feel like that's another reason why you didn't like it as much, is it was a very slow gore movie.
So wait, with Evil Dead Rise, they did the tree scene, and
and just Evil Dead 13. Sorry, not Rise.
Well, no, I was gonna
Oh
say.
yeah, Rise. They did touch on it with the wires. Yeah,
So we'll.
But not as graphic, I would
not as
say.
Okay, so wait. So in the original, there's a very like kind of graphic sequence where tree branches essentially sexually assault a woman. The Sam Raimi, the creator, has like since, and the decades since been like, yeah, I probably went a little too far with that. But I was young, I was doing punk rock shit. I don't think anyone would see it. Like, whatever. It is what it is.
It was all shock value. That's all it wanted to be.
In 2013, which people have different opinions of, like high, low, whatever, but they did a similar thing, very similar, to the point where like I don't know. I read a piece earlier today that said like, wow, what a great subtle way to do that. And I was like, I don't think that was subtle.
It was not subtle. It was very
think it was subtle
heavy-handed.
as hell.
And it was very one-to-one too. Like if
Also,
you're paying,
yeah.
like you can kind of get away with it because you're saying that you're paying homage to the original. That's fine in a way, because I mean Rise did it as well, but I think Rise did it better.
Well, and Rise also doesn't get explicitly sexual. I
Yes.
don't think, if
No.
I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Correct.
Whereas 13 did. and I didn't know.
And it was you get the close up on the leg.
I will say that to the
They were recreating shots for that, yeah.
I will say to maybe the film's credit, which I have not again finished or kind of read too much into, and the one piece I was kind of reading I skimmed because I didn't want to get spoiled with too many details, but it was saying how they appreciated the vines scene being something that reinforced the themes of how addiction kind of steals your agency, free will, and in that regard, I could see that. So I want to give that credit. However, as you said, it was kind of maybe it's just more palatable, maybe it's just more accessible, whatever. It was easier for me to sit through, and I thought a little bit more innovative because I like a cover, that does a different twist. But they do their version of it with elevator cables. And it's not
electrical wires.
It's not getting into sexual assault territory, but it is, it's still scary and whatever.
Yeah.
And I
was a very anytime they got anywhere near the elevator in Rise, that shit was tense as fuck.
Okay, if we don't ever come back to it, but I gotta say, maybe one of my favorite shots, other than woman rising from the lake in the beginning, which is just so cool. How about that peephole through the peephole through?
Oh my god! And the fact they kept using it in different ways throughout the whole movie,
constantly.
So the camera stays stationary because it's just looking through the peephole of through your apartment door or whatever. But out in the hallway, you
see somebody run past.
Stuff's coming into frame, out of frame, into frame, and it creates
something pops up into frame.
So cool, so fun. I love that. Because you want to know so bad what she's doing to those poor dudes out in the hallway.
Or even at one point, massacre already happened. Dude with the shotgun that you met half hour ago comes out and see blast.
Yeah, Chekhov's shotgun appears and it goes off and then it's gone.
No, then you think it's done.
You don't get to use it anymore.
And she
because then we got a deadite with a shotgun. And it's no!
Enduring mayhem, but then to see her look back into with the wound and
I was wondering if maybe I really also loved that movie in part because it's well, no, because even in the originals, a lot of the Deadites were women. But I was gonna say, it's this woman who is pretty awesome, and she's just massacring all the dudes in the hallway, all the neighbors. But then her family is largely feminine and whatever, not 100%, but. So it's not just a,
hashtag
lady
non-binary.
But I was thinking maybe I just love it because it's a woman killing men. But no, it's not exclusively along those lines.
Yeah.
So I can't do that.
And it's not even killing for the most part. It's just infecting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too is that Deadites don't want to kill you. They just want to make you wish that you were dead. And then when you are dead, that's when you become one of us.
So I did say earlier, ooh, we should have that debate. But the more we talk it out, is there even a debate? They're definitely not just zombies.
They're not just zombies. No. They are ancient Kandarian demon spirits.
Well, I love that you remember
that are called forth.
The Kandarian of Kandar, because again, I just love the sort of retrograde or the new edition of there's multiple books of the dead. There's just a couple, and so we can do this as many times as we want.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Ash. It can be Beth. It can also be whatever.
And the idea of just the three, it sprouted from Army of Darkness when Ash goes into the graveyard.
Yeah, it's at the very end.
There are 3 books there,
floating.
and he only goes to the one. The other 2 look different, and that's why when we see them in Evil Dead 13 and then Evil Dead Rise, they look different.
They aren't. Yeah,
so that's
not
why.
The same
so
book.
is Burns gonna be a 4th book, or is it gonna be?
Could be.
So that's why I'm wondering if we're just gonna do as many books as we want.
I think the idea of it just being whatever book is whatever book. It's they all still do the same thing, but it's going to be different.
If we think
tribes or civilizations.
Well,
or
they
whoever,
put so much good detail into Rise with the whole phonogram thing, and it was an anthropologist, and then kind of got sucked into the tribe or whatever he's studying, and then
in Rise, no, Rise had the it was the clergyman meeting.
Clergy, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
So it was
whatever the recording was. It just it felt, I don't know.
Bruce Campbell was one of those one of the preachers, or one of the clergymen in that. Yeah, just saying.
I mean,
he's appeared in all of the films in some fashion.
He's been a part of every film in some way, shape, or form. Executive producing. He's in it for the long haul.
But I do just love a good lore, a good a cult, a good spell book, or Necronomicon, any of it, because it just again immediately begs what's inside. Who wrote it?
Yeah.
Why? Is that written out in blood? Is it mostly pictures? Is it a picture book? Is it a chapter book?
Aesthetics wise, which one was your favorite of the books?
Rise.
My answer's twofold. So
Rise. Yeah.
Rise.
I'm just
Rise.
Rise, baby. I'm sorry.
I love a picture.
Oh, and that was the one with like the bone teeth spine on it that clasped.
So,
It's also like, again, for me though, like the most threatening because the originals have that Looney Tune quality where I'm just like,
Sure.
so that's actually interesting. You're looking at like the actual composition of the book.
I was also thinking about the pages.
Well,
Yeah.
My
That's why my
that's
my
You get the
answer's
most details.
twofold.
is the
actually.
drawing because the reason why she gets put in that form in the elevator is because it's mimicking the book. And
Well,
then,
and it always is.
yeah, but then to see like the 1-to-1, so to speak, and then you see it happen again.
Because in 13
And
it was
then-
the same way. There was a lot of those images is what like the woman boiling became the woman boiling in the shower.
in the shower.
Yeah.
And then like in Rise the Leeches, that's when one of the kids started, and then I forget what exactly it was called, but
The beheading was also called out in Evil Dead 2 within the book. Yeah. I think aesthetics wise, for the outside of the book, my favorite was 13. Nothing beats ripping open the black trash bag and then it's bound in barbed wire, and then you pull the bar. You gotta cut the barbed wire off it, and then the
visceral.
But then it's like it's dry, but it's gooey as it's opening.
But you're right.
That was awesome.
Something about the black or just the black plastic that's ripping.
Yeah, because it's like, and it's dirty trash bag, so it's like it's been buried.
That because
that
less,
is a dirty book.
Yeah.
That has less like supernatural connotations and more like, I don't know, like a crime behind an alley happened.
Yes.
You know, like, or just like,
Like-
this gas
Like
station's a crime scene.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's like it's a book bound in human flesh, so it's like plastic bag, barbed wire, and flesh. Like something gross is in here.
It's like this is not.
yeah,
There's
okay, but
many
like, not
warnings.
Nickelodeon gross. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
no, this is like real.
the
This is like
slime.
this is like Seven. Like they find it in the alleyway while they're hunting like the John Doe killer.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the drawings go, I have immense appreciation for all of the art within all of the books. My personal favorite has to be from Evil Dead 2 because the inscriptions on the inside of that, just that image of the beheaded zombie in 2 has stuck with me forever. I'm surprised I don't have it tattooed on me yet.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. No, that one just kind of really sticks with me, and I absolutely love that one so much. It's just so eerie. If there's like if there's an angel listening, no, I was kidding. Like as an artist, I feel like one of the coolest things that I could ever do is like if I ever got a chance to be a part of a film in any sort of way, I would love to be able to do the artwork for inside of one of these.
Dude.
Like that as like a crazy
anyway.
Delulu dream. Like I feel like that would be really sick.
Do it now. Post it to the cosmos.
Yeah.
Yell it into the cosmos, and have it yell back and be like, "I like that.
Yeah.
Here's $10,000. Do it again."
Right. give me licensing for it. It'll be cool.
I was just remembering from some reviews online that there's an MF Doom poster in the son of what's her name? The DJ kid. He's got a J Dilla Donuts poster and an MF Doom poster. I just think that's funny. I got an MF Doom record right here.
Fitting. What didn't you say?
But again, the phonograph stuff, I just love that.
The phonograph wave is a really cool thing too, of like taking the we're listening to the recording on the tape. Like doing just a fresher version of it.
Yeah.
Just a
You had the
same
drone, you
but
had the
different.
phonogram.
Yeah, same but different. It's just really cool. I will say I did in my research, because I did do research. I love trivia. You guys know I love trivia.
Yeah, you do.
Supposedly when they did the in the original 81 Evil Dead, when they first sat down with the tape recorder and like listened to it, they're all sitting in the living room of this cabin. In the scene, they're smoking weed. Sam Raimi and all of the cast were like, if they were smoking weed, we should totally all smoke weed because we're method actors. Like, we should totally, like, really get into this right now. And they had to throw away so many takes just because everybody kept giggling. Because they just all got too stupid high and were just giggling the entire time.
God, they're just like us for real.
It's like, and I love the idea of them. They're first off, in 1981's The Evil Dead, the cabin that they filmed in, they slept there. because it was a remote cabin, and it was super dilapidated. No one had lived there for a very long time, and it was fucking it was like November. It was cold as fuck in the Tennessee mountains. So it's like, anytime you saw that fire in the fireplace, like that was like they're heating for the crew and the cast. Like they're living there. And there's like animal feces all over the place. It was disgusting. So it's like the realness of them being like, we should totally smoke weed to do this. It's like, it just adds so much more real that it's like, all right, y'all were just kind of hanging out here and having to just live it.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is so cool.
Well, again, the commitment, the dedication, like all that, like this is something born of like blood, sweat, and tears, and
it blows my mind that they would get done filming and be like, all right, cool, take the stuff down, pull sleeping bags out, we're sleeping. They just sleep on the floor in there.
They're probably tired as shit.
Yeah. It's like, that's fucking miserable.
I also feel so silly because like we're over an hour in now, and I'm like, we never explained the premise for anyone that might not be familiar.
I mean, at this point,
Trying to be obviously even though there's like also not that much to it, because again, like this was a story that was kind of reworked and like kind of redone, similar, like not like wildly different or anything, but essentially like young people, cabin in the woods, stumble on a book. There's really not much else to it than that. And then, like, chaos and or hilarity ensue.
You know what kills me, too, about 81?
Both.
Was it 81? Yeah, 81. The thing that makes me laugh the hardest about 81 is the fact that 81 was born out of pettiness.
Is this with the Peter Jackson thing?
No, not with Peter Jackson.
Talking
Wes Craven here. So, Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was, okay. Yes, because the Hills Have Eyes.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
So
this is awesome.
I want to say it was 78 or 79. Wes Craven releases The Hills Have Eyes, and
which we will eventually, I think, cover.
Absolutely, because that fits into our Slash
yep.
X thing.
Yep.
That's going to be a miserable rewatch.
That's why it's going to be.
Yeah, like no, we have to. Can that just be an
That
email?
is a rough one to watch.
Can that be an
That'll be
email?
later in the series. But I'm sorry, go on.
So that movie comes out, and Wes Craven, whoever wrote it or whoever was in charge of the art, puts this tagline on the poster of like, scariest film ever. It's the most horror of all horror. This is the scariest movie of all time.
Laid his name down and like drew a line in the sand.
It says like, Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes.
I did it.
Scariest movie ever. And the movie comes out. Anybody's ever seen it. It's not the scariest thing. It is unnerving. It is different. It's a new kind of horror, especially for the time. But Sam Raimi saw it and went, huh.
Fuck you.
And he was like, well, I'm working on trying to redo Within the Woods. Nah, fuck this. If that's the scariest movie, I'm going to make this so much scarier. So that's why he put the poster in the fruit cellar basement.
The poster of The Hills Have Eyes in the cellar basement of the cabin in the original.
And if you look closely enough, the bottom of the poster's ripped off.
Oh!
Because he was like, nah, fuck you. You know what? Your movie's so not scary that it exists in my world and people are still more terrified of this.
So then, Glenn, what did Wes Craven do? Because he clapped back.
Did he clap back?
So I forget which movie now. I'd have to look.
I only knew half of
too.
that. I'm a Sam Raimi stan, so.
I forget which Wes Craven movie came next or whatever, but he put I watched this on a Shudder documentary. But so whatever, maybe it was People Under the Stairs. There's an Evil Dead poster.
Yes.
And and I think it's ripped. Mm-hmm. And then I think.
And then after that, I think they both just went.
Yeah, and
then they were like, all right, we're good.
We're saying like
Stranger in Our
pettiness and
House.
fuck you and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's very affectionate and very like artists.
Yes.
Acknowledging other artists in like a.
And I
cool
think
way.
it was Sam Raimi's like punk rock attitude of like, fuck you, but I really love you.
It's also the singers wearing the other band's T-shirts that we were saying earlier. Like it is the same. Movie.
It's kind of like the Trent Reznor like Fred Durst beef that kind of happened for a minute there.
Oh, I don't remember this, but okay, go ahead, New Metal Boy.
Yeah. Wow, really throwing myself under the bus on that one. Yeah, so like Limp Bizkit had a song called Hot Dog. But he's like, the whole song is a call out to Trent Reznor because apparently like Fred went to go.
I'm sorry. Where does Fred Durst get off? I'm sorry.
So he went to like a premiere or something, and Fred Durst like saw Trent Reznor there, tried to say what's up, and like Trent Reznor kind of snubbed him. So he wrote Hot Dog, and literally used lines from Nine Inch Nails songs in the song, which then made it onto Significant Other. But they had to get licensing because he literally ripped the fucking lyrics, and Trent Reznor went, "Yeah, go for it." And then the song
That's
came out, he
awesome.
listened to it and went, "That's funny as hell." And then the two of them were like,
That's awesome.
"We're friends."
Reznor's a goddamn king. Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
I think that's just so funny.
I love him.
Yeah. That's not the only. That's also not the only like callback to another thing in the Evil Dead universe.
What do you mean?
Spin.
Oh, you didn't know about this one?
Oh, boy.
So in 1987, Ash goes into the tool shed to retrieve his chainsaw,
This is Evil Dead 2.
yeah,
which of course we understand in the second one.
One of the funniest
there is-
gags.
Yeah, he pulls back the curtain and there is an outline on the wall of where there should be a chainsaw.
I just don't know why it got me like it with the chalk and the like why.
Dude, no,
I don't like why was it necessary?
no, it's so real because my grandfather fucking did
No,
that
it's
shit.
a real practice. No, I know it's a real practice that like men have done in their tool sheds.
There
It
would
just
be
I
like
don't
an
know why.
outline of a pair of shears on the wall.
Because doesn't the camera like quickie zoom, like not hard
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
way in,
It
but
does like
a
it
quick
does like
kinda
the
zoom.
action like whoop.
And it just like the like but no, like I don't know, it just
And
got
then it
me.
cuts back to like Ash's face being like, "What the fuck?" And then all of a sudden you hear the chainsaw fire up, and then there's this Muppet flying
Yes.
of
Yes.
his beheaded
I
girlfriend.
was about to say, yeah, for the record, it's a beheaded woman
who
that I
then
used to love.
slams her body into him several times.
But as we were saying, it was just like a rag doll with like joints, but no like nothing stopping it, and just the physics are very.
The best part about that is Sam Raimi's laying on the floor controlling that puppet.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's literally it's
What?
on a dolly. He's laying on the floor. It's on a dolly that goes up like a U shape and then goes above him. So the torso is just flopping around holding the chainsaw.
That's just wild.
And he's just sliding it back and forth, smacking Bruce Campbell. There's a lot of behind the scenes footage for this that I highly suggest you guys should go back
Wait,
and
you're
like
saying
find.
Sam Raimi did that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Sam Raimi was operating the puppet on that one.
I thought you were saying Bruce Campbell was doing it to
No.
himself. I was like, geez,
Stop
wow.
hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
He later in the movie
I
then
was about to
proves
say-
that he can do that.
That is a
That
gag.
man.
When he front flipped himself, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I
no, we have
cried.
not.
But if
we have
we-
not yet acknowledged like the physical prowess of Bruce Campbell doing just the slapstick, like every like.
Just moving his face.
We're giving
Oh
all
my
the
God.
we're giving all the credit to Sam Raimi as director, visionary, the Greg Nicotero, makeups all deserved obviously, but like we have not yet acknowledged Bruce Campbell's face,
Yeah.
his jaw, his chin, his eyes is just like again as we're doing
His-
the
his-
most expressive human being.
Oh my goodness.
Roguish good looks. No, but if we
Isn't he
back up real
dreamy?
quick, the one thing I was gonna mention is if when he pulls that curtain back in that swoosh in,
Yeah, sorry.
if you look at the right time on the left hand side of the screen, you will see in the garden shed Freddy's
Oh,
glove
yes, I
is
did notice
hanging
that.
on the wall.
I did notice that. Yes.
That is there because one of the makeup artists, Mark Shostrom,
Also Wes Craven, so more Wes Craven stuff.
yep, Mark Shostrom was a makeup artist working on Dream Warriors at the same time that he was
Oh, yeah,
working
87.
on Evil Dead 2.
Oh
That's so
shit.
awesome.
And he borrowed it from production to
Just for
bring to his
funsies.
other job to put in there.
I love that. That's so
How
fun.
fun is that?
Yes. The most
Wow.
fun. Truly.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I
Again,
just,
evidence of like it being a project, it being like the efforts of like people who love this stuff. Like,
you
that's
want
just so
other
cool.
notable mentions from the franchise?
I do.
Oh,
Okay.
One more.
The fact that we can't give it
one
to
more.
us.
I'm a little baby bird. Feed me
Yeah.
the worms.
Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness. I can't remember who did the score or who did the music for that, but I can tell you that they can't have all of the credit for all of the songs in that because there was another composer that was brought in for one song and one song only in Army of Darkness. The scene in which the skeleton army is marching on the castle, they're playing flutes and fifes and drums and shit like that.
Yeah.
The song is called March of the Dead. That was written and done by Danny Elfman.
Oh no way!
What the?
We love Danny Elfman, who folks should know from, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas or Oingo Boingo. Whichever your taste.
Or his solo project stuff too, because his
was gonna
solo
say, yeah.
project stuff is very, very like weird metal now.
But just also like a
That's
film score.
bonkers. Yeah, original composer Joseph LaDuca.
There it is.
But that's
Lucy.
so cool that
Very cool. We love Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman kidnapped the Santa Claus.
Yep.
That's where my brain immediately goes.
The other notables that I have is the Oldsmobile appears in every single film.
Hell yeah. Nice
the
big
other.
cube
Oh,
car.
shit. Yeah.
Stephen King once saw. Actually, speaking of Stephen King again, I have it written down here. 1981, Stephen King saw The Evil Dead at Cannes, and loved it so much that he championed for it to get released. He named it his 5th favorite horror movie of all time.
Good call. Good call.
Good shit.
It was really funny. I saw Stephen King, felt the need to write that down, and it's really funny. We talked about him so much on this episode.
We really
already.
did kind of shit talk and shout him out. It's fine. He's a grand.
And then he's going to find us, and we're going to shake hands, and then we're going to be best buddies.
Yeah.
Joe Hill.
Get soft tacos.
Then beat us up, sneak up on us from behind.
And we're also talking about like accolades and things like that. When the Evil Dead musical premiered in Toronto, Toronto, critics praised it as potentially the next Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I can see that.
With how campy, with how what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of?
Pulpy?
Cult.
Cult, yes.
Yeah.
How culty it is. How like people will run to the masses, diehard fans of it, and like
Even if they're not a fan of musical theater, I would go fucking
would-
see that. Like,
yeah.
are you kidding me? I wouldn't hesitate to get tickets if I saw that it was in town. Like, I would go.
Are you
And
gonna come to the American Psycho musical with me at some point?
I will.
I didn't know that a thing existed.
Oh, hop on, because we got a long way to go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, baby.
Are the
Sorry,
flyers
not to
just
jump to a different thing.
Are the
I just-
flyers on like beautiful bone white?
I can't. Just look at the fine, tasteful printing. I can't remember. Is this a thing that's been? It had happened, right? It's not coming out in the future, right?
Not that I'm aware of right,
yeah, no,
now,
it's-
but it was.
It was
overseas.
okay, yeah.
And they're
I don't
recording.
think it's like being performed anywhere. I think wasn't there like legal troubles with it, or am I making that up? I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever have the chance. But just speaking of
Just
like
knowing. I mean,
horror favorites and slasher favorites that have
tutorials exist
musicals.
on
And I
YouTube.
mean, I love like the premise of repurposing horror movies into like a musical of some kind is super fucking
well, especially
cool.
something that could be
Because something like Carrie is like.
slasher or slapsticky.
Carrie.
I got to see Carrie, and that was a fucking. That's so cool of a concept to be like, hey, we're gonna turn this into like.
And having
That's
again
3 right there.
respecting the iconic moments,
Psycho,
the shower scene, the prom scene, like innovating,
Oh,
the
Heathers.
Oh yeah.
Heathers, yes. I mean, it's
Love Heathers.
it's not a musical, but
Spider-Man, turn off the dark.
Just said, "Fuck you, Julie Taymor."
That was a horror.
I love
my husband Patrick Page. I'm so sorry. No, Paranormal Activity
No, true.
is currently.
They have a musical?
It's not a musical. It's a show.
Oh shit! And then fucking
Stranger Things.
Patrick, what's his face? Patrick Wilson's doing Lost Boys.
Yes, he
No
is.
kidding.
Yeah. Damn.
It's
cool.
it's really
Wow,
cool.
we walked right into that.
That's a fun list
shit.
right there.
It is
Okay.
really cool how that.
I would watch all of those movies together too.
It's,
Like that would be like a
think so.
fun
I would
watch-a-thon. Yeah.
That'd be very fun.
But yeah.
That is so interesting. Like those are the things that like kind of have lent themselves to, if not musical theater, but a lot of.
I swear
musical
for God,
theater.
if the Lost Boys like musical isn't like an '80s alternative jukebox musical, I'm gonna do it for real.
I thought you were, good call. No, I thought you were gonna say.
He said, "Good call."
It is. I thought you were gonna say though, if the whole movie isn't just that oiled up dude, on mullet, doing his saxophone and leather
His name is
pants
Tim
and too many
Capello.
chains.
His name is Tim Capello, and he's an artist.
I know his name. I love it.
Yeah.
You do love Lost Boys. That's
I
awesome.
do.
oh my,
We will all go to all of these musicals together if
Yeah.
we can.
I will kidnap you if I need to.
You don't
Yeah.
need to.
I will bribe the person who keeps us in this basement so let's go on one field trip.
Beg the ghoul, please.
Yeah. Please. Here's
So-
a quesarito.
So this brings me around. We've kind of touched on like all of our favorite bits and pieces and stuff.
Sure,
like
sure.
I have 2 questions for us to kind of
boy.
begin wrapping on.
Cool.
I want to talk about out of the entire franchise, what was your favorite gag / death? Like what was the one that you're like, that's the fucking one?
I'm not gonna.
I feel like there's so many, but my brain immediately went to one.
Okay.
2013,
Okay.
Abomination. The very last one.
Oh, okay. So when Ashley gets her revenge on the demon.
Yes. So this is after. I mean, I don't want to spoil for Joe, but
Which
2013.
it's fine.
End of 13.
The final chainsaw
The
kill.
final. It's just
70,000 gallons of blood.
raining blood. It is wet. It is disgusting. You don't think the blood is enough? No,
Because it's
And
raining
then-
blood as well.
And then just the connection and just seeing the splatter.
Yeah.
I'm like that. And like when I think of
That is a visceral moment.
immediately, the first one in my mind is that one.
Followed up by like after it's done, her like that last shot of her walking down the road by herself. Oh, so sick.
Please, if nothing else, skip past the parts that you don't fancy, because there's some wickedly wicked visuals.
70,000 gallons of visuals.
70,000
yeah.
gallons is absurd.
20 were used for everything leading up to that final scene. That was 50,000 gallons worth of blood that they used for that scene.
So fucking good.
Yeah.
And also, fun fact while we're thinking of things, in pop culture, the tree appears again in Cabin in the Woods.
It does.
It is one of the creatures that is released in the elevator. I've watched that scene at least 1,000,000 times because I just like following a different pattern of what comes out. And the tree literally just comes out, grabs, and pulls in, and you just see buckets of blood coming out. And I'm just like,
Love it.
again,
More crossover.
yeah, it existing in different meanings was so fucking cool.
If you had a sight gag or a kill,
Well, so I was trying to
really
think it
stands.
through. I already kind of named it, so it's just, I would just say it would be like just probably the poor Mr. Fonda, taken out by the shotgun, out of the frame of the door
from Rise. Okay.
From Rise, yes.
Yeah.
Only because I just like in all like transparency, I've only seen the originals maybe once or twice each. And like I just don't remember them well enough. But I've rewatched Rise despite it coming out only 2 years ago, like a good half dozen times at least at this point. And I love the I don't know, maybe just because I'm just too John Wick brained, but just the idea of it being like of it being out of frame, and like I think that's so clever and like tantalizing. It just makes you
and
wanna...
like as we've discussed in a lot of like the older slasher movies, some of the most effective stuff is the stuff you don't see.
Very little blood, but also, and just as we've also mentioned, like I get squeamish with the more, I don't know, like just camera looking at a gruesome bit of violence. Like I'm always good at handling that if it's teeth or cheese graters.
Yeah.
So
I think if I had to choose, mine would be a scene. Mine would like it was like a sight gag, not a kill. But it was like a sight gag that kind of went on for a scene, and it would be Evil Dead 2 when Ash is fighting with his hand, then chopping it off with the laughing deer.
yeah.
Just that scene of like when everything in the cabin starts laughing at him, and then he's laughing with it.
First of all, not even laughing, like violently cackling, and like spines don't matter, and like because puppets, but like it looks good, and so you're like, oh god, the deer shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that paired with him like pulling plates and smashing him over his head constantly.
But then again,
it was so
it's
fucking
so
Three Stooges. It hurts.
His
Like,
Marx
the
Brothers
slapstick.
slapstick,
yeah,
and
the other
but
thing was
also-
this is like
But again, his face, like you just said, and kind of like demonstrated, like joining in on the laughter and like rolling with it.
and
Like
you got that beautiful Dutch angle, super close up of his face
and a
turning
Dutch
into the
angle,
camera.
like that side view, like is always such an indicator of like, oh, we're watching madness unfold. So it's not just like torture porny. It's not just like, oh, a ghost haunting a cabin. It's also like, oh, this man breaking down, and we're not just like watching it from the outside. We're like seeing it a little on the inside.
And then it like that is such a cool pivotal moment in it because it's a tonal shift. Like there's all of this goofiness that is happening in that moment.
Still threatening though.
Still threatening. It's just very goofy and campy, and then it immediately hard cuts that he hears a noise and fires the shotgun, and that's when our new characters come in, and the story for 2 begins, and it's like, oh, he's a fucking psycho with a gun.
Well, I love that. 'Cause
Like-
yeah. These are just like, who is this guy? And like, yeah.
So that leads me into my second question. Yeah.
Wait, because now my memory's coming back to
Yeah.
me. Okay, wait, because you said kills, but also like just gags or sequences. It's 2 when he gets just like wrecked and goes sailing through the woods.
He flies through the woods.
It is spinning.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Because
It's a
again,
puddle.
folks, when we say
And then he comes out Evil Ash.
Yeah.
and that was so cool.
Evil
Like, it led
Ash
to
was
that.
so creepy.
I didn't know that was gonna happen that early. Like I was worried for a minute. It was so silly. But like no, again, the practical effects, and so to see that done where like you create the illusion of him getting like shot through the goddamn 100-acre woods or whatever, like at the tree line top. It's hilarious, but also incredible, but also amazing. Like, it blew my mind, because again, even watching it just like this past summer, I was like, how this is incredible. Like that's why you love practical effects, you love things from the royal we love things from the 80s, because like you can
I'll
do
accept that it was me. Yeah.
it was only everybody. That's why I love old school animation, because it was 2D, motherfucker. Like you couldn't just, and God, I love you can do great things with computers. I'm not trying to be a Luddite, but like I just I can't help but
There's
love
some
the
things
craft
you can't recreate.
of the I don't know, the tactile, the medium of it, just the practical effects, man.
That sort of leads me into my final question of like, which one is your favorite out of the franchise? Because easily for me, it's 2. Because it does all of those things. It not only has the horror and the unnervingness and like the camp and the funny, but it's also, there's so many shots and practical effects that are in that movie that make you go, how the fuck did they do that? Being able to seamlessly transition from like Ted Raimi dressed up as like a crazy old rotten woman that turns into like
Sam's
a claymation snake creature. They did that so...
A basilisk.
They did it so effortlessly in that transformation, and then it turns into a full-size puppet. Like, dude, that is so sick.
A very full-size puppet. Like that's like.
And then you get that beautiful shot of the eyeball flying through the air into the lady's mouth. Like, it's hilarious.
Oh my god! You know what? Speaking of references, did we even mention that happened again in Rise?
Did it? The eyeball in the mouth?
Yeah, when it's the 2 brothers in the hallway.
Oh yeah, his eyeball comes out,
and he's choking.
Yeah. That's a nice little nod.
Wow.
That's funny.
Wow.
And like, as for Evil Dead 2 and its special effects accolades, like that was the movie that it's like, if I didn't become a tattoo artist, I would have gone into special effects makeup. Like, that movie made me want to do that. I wanted to like sculpt and make monsters and be monsters and spray people with blood or get sprayed with blood, like, because I found
¿Por qué no los dos?
I will spray, I will get sprayed.
Yeah. Equal opportunity.
But no, I appreciate all that, because no, just like a testament to the awesome like influence of seeing cool art and be like, can I like join? Can I help? Like,
I think it should still be available somewhere on YouTube, but there is an entire, I want to say it's like 20 to 30 minutes. It's a whole behind the scenes movie of the making of Evil Dead 2, where it's them in the creature shop, or it's them in the cabin discussing stuff,
so cool.
or like applying makeup, or them like perfecting gags and stuff. And it is such a cool watch, and that's really what kind of resonated with me. That it's like, I think I want to do this.
I feel like you're more agonized by this question. Can I already know my answer. I'm gonna just.
Yeah, you shoot yours.
Well, so just like, so you asked like personal favorite. So like people will stop listening to me, but it's Evil Dead Rise for me, because as much
I couldn't have called that.
As much as as much as Evil Dead 2 is like, I think like the very obvious sort of, not obvious like poor, but like obvious like objective, like clearly this is so meaningful. This is like film history. This is not only if it wasn't film history, even if like other people had just done it the year before, fine. They did it so well in this. It was so enjoyable. It's so fun. Like, it just deserves all the praise, all the like attention to all the details. Especially because it's like, the next evolution of part 1, and what a unique story, and all this, that, the other. I can also appreciate people being, leaning more, like if they just enjoy fantasy or medieval shit. They like Army of Darkness. It's cool if you were like turned on to the stuff in 2013, or you appreciate a dark remake. Like, you love that one. Mm-hmm. I really love
There's
Rise.
something there in this franchise for everyone.
I really love Rise because, like, I already detailed how I came to it, and so, like, I kind of missed the sort of initial wave, and, like, 13 just, I couldn't, like, jive with it, but, like, I'm just so happy that, like...
This was your second chance romance.
That's what it was! Yeah, it's my second chance romance. Shout out to the book girlies, right? I finally, like, found it, and I did fall in love. But no, like, yeah, I was like, it was one of those things where I was like, I know I'm supposed to like this on paper, and it just never clicked for me, and then it finally did, and I just was able to enjoy it. Like, all the SA stuff wasn't there, like, the story and history of the behind the scenes, which is so cool and amazing on like a film history level, which I love, but like, it's a little bit of homework. It's a little bit of like, oof. I kind of avoided it, I think, in part 2 because like I knew there was like context around it, and I didn't like know how to tackle the story from the first one to the second one to the third one being different. Like, that all I think maybe intimidated me a little. But I was just able to enjoy Rise, like, so honestly, so transparently, and just, again, it was the first sequel that wasn't a remake, and I kind of loved seeing what new different things they did with it, and I think they just knocked it out of the park. So, personally, it's Rise. Objectively, it's gotta be 2. But like, I love that you can see the merits in each of the different, incarnations.
100%.
And again, credit to Ash Versus, because I really am excited to watch that.
It's a lot of fun. I think you'll really enjoy it because it's a comic book version
I
of
would
it.
see clips, and it always was like funny, and that's not easy to
it's
do.
hilarious.
I'm really
Now
glad
you're
I
on the
went.
spot, my friend.
No, I'm really glad I went last because like Paul had dual style. And, like it is a tie between 2 and Rise for me. Like starting from
We
1.
had such a good time in the theater too. Like,
Oh my God.
That like fed into my love for it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
obviously where you were when you watched it plays into it, but like I was saying, the trajectory of where I went with it,
Dude, cut
and,
cut this to like the video of us inside of the theater if it was being recorded of just like us cackling and clapping the whole movie.
That might have been the first
whole
one.
movie.
We were just like, fuck it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we were not
cracking up.
quiet.
the parking lot finale.
I know.
Yeah, we
But
were
just
out there
like
a while.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on the amalgamation at the end.
the Marauder.
Because they did that, that was like a callback to the end of 2.
the-
Where the tree kind of turns into the Marauder.
This like giant multi-clump monster thing. Oh, it was horrifying.
Flesh monsters.
It was giving me Thing remake,
Yeah.
for better or worse. But like,
Or how about Smile 2? Not for nothing.
bodies on bodies
Actually,
on
the
bodies.
giant puppet made me think of that when I was watching the one behind the scenes that's on Shudder or whatever. I was watching.
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when they were showing the puppet, I was like, oh, that makes me think of the Smile 2
Monster,
puppet
yeah.
thing.
But
And I mean,
But
like,
again, practical effects because they built that motherfucker.
oh yeah,
tag it
they
into
did.
flesh pile monsters for the video game kids, Dead Space.
One day I'll finish that game. But like, it's just enjoying like where I was in that moment, and then knowing how much of an admiration. Not saying that played into it. It did a little bit. I was like, I wanna enjoy it from the lens of how my friend enjoys it, but also find an enjoyment for myself. And I'm glad I did. Like it.
I definitely did Tango Pistola you. into, like, watching
if
it.
I had a dollar,
I did it to both of you guys. I was like, well, you haven't seen 2.
I was
You
trying to.
haven't seen 2?
I was trying to anyway. Thankfully,
Yeah, but it
got me to
Yeah.
finish over the finish line.
And then when we're like, we're gonna do this episode about Evil Dead,
Yeah.
right? The whole thing.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh great. So now now I have a deadline to do this. But like it was worth it. I'm glad I got to enjoy it and appreciate it and laugh my fucking ass off. Because like the self flip, the through the woods, all of the little gags, all the big gags,
Nothing beats an old rotten woman flying through the air at someone to tackle him. That shit's fucking hilarious.
That's a headless ballerina waltz in,
Oh, yeah?
and I'm just sitting there like,
It's so absurd. It doesn't not strike you as funny. It's so weird because, like, people have spoken before about, the thin line between horror and comedy, right? And, like, you're either laughing or crying, right? But, it's kind of the same impulse or the same, like, confronting death kind of thing.
It's a horror and comedy are both extensions of madness.
Yeah, very much so. Like, it's all in the same mix, but, like, it's so fun to find, like, the wet things that, like, are also, like, genuinely funny, like, and both Rise and 2 do it for me.
yeah. So like I love I love them both in the same way, in different fonts, but still in the same capacity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure. When I mentioned Peter Jackson earlier, that's because he did
Dead Alive.
which
/ Brain Dead. Yeah.
Dead
Okay.
Alive. Oh.
And I like. Are you just also?
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
Just I
I'm
wanted
a
to-
huge fan.
Is there a?
Party's over.
Is there a? Oh well, this is clearly better than that kind of competition in the same way.
I
Or is
don't
it just...
see it as that because Claudio, can you pull up when Dead Alive came out? I want to say that was
79, 80.
That would be
Oh, am I way off?
it was like 89.
Damn.
92.
92. Okay.
Fuck me.
Well, 92 in New
was so
Zealand,
early.
93 in the U.S.
Yeah. So I definitely think this was like that was probably Peter Jackson's like
Kind of love letter.
I love
So, okay,
you.
there
Thank
was
you
not
for like I'm gonna do this my way and it's gonna be far wetter.
Thank you for illuminating me to that because I didn't
Yes.
understand if it was more of a
And
peer
those are
competition thing.
more just intelligent zombies rather than like demonic zombies. Of
Well,
some
that's like
fashion.
that's the one with the whole like the family
Yes.
craziness at the end.
There was
so,
like, and it all kind of stems from like an archaic weird monkey
Again,
biting somebody.
I had heard of this
Yeah.
in my like general film research passiveness, but then like on recently like Shudder covered it in some capacity.
Most
and I-
creative use I've ever seen for a lawnmower in my entire life.
Yes. Yes.
Fighting off hordes of orgy fanatic
Which feels,
zombies.
now that I'm remembering, feels like an homage to the chainsaw.
Yes.
on
1000%.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
And it's like you have that like kind of reluctant hero throughout the same thing. It's like he didn't want to do it. He was just kind of put in that position to have to take care of business.
Fuck, man.
I feel like we took care of business. This is
Yeah,
very
it was.
enjoyable.
This felt.
This like I was just so excited that we got a chance to do this because like I said, this is my favorite franchise of all time. This is like some of my favorite movies, and like while I understand like Evil Dead 2013 isn't necessarily fun if you're coming at it from the standpoint of
But it's
it's an
enjoyable.
extension of the franchise. It's like this franchise on the whole to me is just fun. It's just like whatever you're looking for.
It is the outlier though. Like it is the most gruesome. It is the least jokey. Like there's not punchlines. There's no gags. Like,
Yeah.
that are meant to be like ha ha. Like more
Or
just
like,
like
again,
ha, ha, ha.
It's more so like how visceral can we get these kills, and like that's
Yeah.
the nod I want to take. And
Dark,
cool.
gritty.
I feel like Rise is a sort of balance between like silly ha ha goofy like but like also just genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
yeah. But if you guys are good, I'm good.
I think I'm good. This was a really good celebration for this franchise and the boy who loves it the most on his special day, one may say.
One might say. Well, you know, like I said at the beginning, you know, soon you'll all be like me,
Ha!
and you'll love Evil Dead.
I was gonna say you proved it with both of us.
Yeah.
So yes, to
So if
celebrate.
you haven't seen it, go and see it. Watch the franchise, have fun with it. That'll about do it for us at the podcast downstairs. We hope you had as much fun as we did. You can catch up on previous episodes on our YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram. Be sure to like, follow, comment, subscribe, all that stuff that everybody tells you all the time. Click the little bell ding. We'd love to hear your thoughts on some things, so feel free to reach out, comment on things. We'd also like to thank our producer and tech wizard Don, and as well as Not Great Entertainment for all of the help that we've had setting up the pod. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, stay out of the basement.